Welcome to Midcard Maniacs. I'm Jay.
And I'm John.
And today we're talking about why AEW needs women's tag titles.
Yeah.
We've been talking about the women's division in AEW since AEW's existence. And we've always talked about, why is there only one match? What's happening? Why isn't there a bigger focus on women's wrestling in AEW? Despite the mission statement when AEW was created.
We want it to be a strong women's division with the best female wrestlers in the entire world.
We're finally in a position 2 years later where there's lots of women that are very capable of being main eventers, and it's time for titles.
I completely agree. We are slowly now getting multiple storylines happening where it's not just the only focus is whoever is the champion and whoever they're feuding with. We're now getting established women's wrestlers who are not just wrestling on Dark. The next step would be to give them tag titles because we're actually getting women's tag teams in a sense. With the new union of Penelope Ford and the Bunny, then you have Anna Jay and Ty Conti coming in. That's a great start. Think of everyone else on the roster, pair them up, and you got yourselves a tag division.
It seems so easy. When you're looking at everybody, you're like Red Velvet and Big Swole, or Red Velvet and Kylan King. They were almost in like a little faction, the three of them. Pair two of them off, that's a tag team. Diamante obviously lost Ivelisse because she left the company, but Kira Hogan is around. It just makes sense. Pair them up and they are new Fire and Flava over here.
You could even go the direction with Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill, because the two of them had that like build up to almost working together against Thunder Rosa with the Casino Battle Royale, but actually picturing them as a tag team, it would be what Jax and Baszler should have been, in theory. Just two very badass, powerful women kicking ass in the ring.
There's no denying that there's like a ton of talent in the women's division. I think this is a really stacked roster. Like a couple years ago, I did not think the same, but there are so many people, even like Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. That is just made. Obviously, I want to see that individual feud at some point, but like there is a lot of talent in the women's roster, and introducing titles allows more women to be on TV more often, which just gives credibility to all the women in general. Because if you only have singles matches on Dynamite or Rampage for 5 minutes or whatever it might be, thankfully it has improved. The matches are getting longer. They're in a different time slot now. But if it's one-on-one, why not have two-on-two? Because now more women are being introduced to the main audience, and more people are being accustomed to these people that we're seeing on Dark and Dark Elevation all the time.
And then what you get is you get another ranking system, and the matches they have actually have value to them. We're not just putting two random people together to have a match against two random people. They're actually a goal. There's something that they need to achieve, and if they win, it matters. If they lose, it matters. So you're not building individual feuds, you're building overarching stories for that title with every team.
As much as I rag on AEW for how many factions they have, what they don't have are a lot of women's factions, or women not intertwined with the men's factions. Why isn't Diamante in the inner circle? Doesn't make sense to me. Why isn't Cassie Lee in the Pinnacle? That's a different story. That's a different video.
Bringing that up though, you can sign IInspiration, and there's an established tag team coming in that can help bring identification to an unknown title belt.
Absolutely. They come in, they introduce the titles, they get the titles immediately. Now we have a tag division.
Impact has women tag titles. They love doing the cross promotions there. You can also just bring people in. We got the Good Brothers every night, so why not bring the Impact Tag Champions?
Bring over Rosemary and Havoc, or Rachel Ellering and Jordan Grace. Like, I want to see Jordan Grace versus Layla Hirsch. Like, give me that. There are so many opportunities to make good tag teams, honestly. Like, I understand that a lot of people aren't tag teams right now, but having women's tag belts in AEW just kind of adds that extra push for the storylines, like John was saying. Even if it's two people that have never tagged together, then you have that inner turmoil, and that creates a different storyline down the road, even if it's completely unrelated to the titles. It's important. It helps drive storylines. If you look at AEW and the women's storylines, they're few and far between at the moment. They're getting better. I absolutely have to give them credit because they've been doing more promos. They've been trying to do different things, but there's an easier way to just create random feuds between random women in their division to get them on TV. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. Like this video, and if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, stay up to date with everything here on Midcard Maniacs.